There's over 100 editing tricks out there, but only two things actually helped me make more sales on YouTube. Because to get sales from your videos, it's not just about getting views. If that were true, why is it that some people rack up tons of views, yet they still can't land a single client, whereas others with way fewer views have people buying from them every single week? Of course, there's a bit of luck to this, but it also comes down to what you actually put in the video. Just look at William Brown. He makes $364,000 a month posting just coffee chat videos that are completely unedited. There's no fast cuts or any motion graphics or anything like that. And you can also look at Charlie Morgan, who posts plain webcam videos of himself just talking about business. And he pulls in 7 figures a month, while the fancy edited channels completely flop. Now, this might not sound like it should work, but it does, because they nailed the one thing that actually matters, and they skipped the stuff that doesn't. But here's the thing. Most of the editing that you obsess over is not going to help you actually make sales. Because all those fancy cuts, the motion graphics, things like that, these things can look great, but they'll do next to nothing to actually turn a viewer into a customer. Because if you're trying to edit your way to sales, it's basically like taking a piece of poop and then you coat it in gold, right? If you look at it, it's still poop. There's no actual value there. You're just covering over it. And so you don't really get real views. All that you're getting is people sitting there in this kind of hypnotic state where they're watching the video, but they're not actually learning anything. And those people don't turn into customers. It's just a mind-numbing entertainment source for them. And so this actually happened to me because a while back, I started my channel, and there was this channel that was completely blowing up at the time, and his editing was incredible. Like, he was absolutely killing it. And so I thought, what if I just copied his editing style? And so I went and I hired a fancy editor off Upwork, and we started trying to make my videos look like that. Now, to be clear, his content was genuinely really, really good, and he's just brilliant at the editing side of it. So even with the fancy editing, I couldn't really get to that same level. But even where we did get a bit closer, it just didn't really move the needle. Like, my retention stayed exactly the same, and some spots it actually dropped with the fancy editing. On top of that, most of the people watching my stuff are business owners, and they're usually older, and the fast cuts and the flashing graphics, it usually just gives them a headache. The truth is that an hour spent on your idea and your title and your thumbnail will actually do more for you than a week spent on the editing. And a thumbnail costs you like $10. Editing costs you hours and hours of grinding over it, and it sits right at the bottom of the list of what actually makes a sale. And so this brings us to one of the most common myths that I hear about making sales on YouTube, where people say that to get sales, you've got to look professional and have a really high production. That's supposedly what makes a video do well. And for a while, I believed it too, because I poured in money into fancy edits thinking that this was the thing that was holding me back. And it turns out I had it backwards pretty much the whole time because of that advice, because editing tricks, they don't cause growth. It's actually the content that does. Like, honestly, just look at my videos now. It's literally just me screen sharing with these little PowerPoint style slides up on the screen that I can draw on while I talk. And that's it, really. It's nothing fancy. Every single one of these visuals was made inside of Claude. Now, actually, the first half of this video, there was quite a bit of editing, but that's because I messed up, and in my screen recording software, I had it on like my talking head the entire time, like this. So I had to edit at the beginning just to cover this up. So I guess that's one problem with doing the screen share style. If you're an idiot and you forget to switch the form, then that could happen. But usually I just have these almost like PowerPoint slides set up that I scroll through. And by the way, if you want the skill that I use to make these, I have a little HDMI visual skill that you can use. I'll leave it for free in the description. It'll take you to this Google Doc right here where I'll put all the skills that I use for YouTube. So check it out, completely free. But going back to the video, and the good news is, it's actually pretty simple to start making sales once you stop letting the fancy editing do all the work in your head. So just to keep things simple, let me just share you the only two things that I really credit for turning my videos into sales. So let's start with the first one, which is the big one, and that is the value in the video. Because what actually makes the sale is the information in the video. Do you help your viewer solve the problem that they came to solve? And so you're basically guiding them to their solution, right? You give them the information that helps them solve it. You give them the tools that helps them solve the problem. You give them motivation, and you also help them break the beliefs that might be holding them back. And when you do this, if your free stuff is genuinely helping people, then they're going to keep watching your videos because they're getting value. And the more people you help, the more people that keep coming back, they start sharing your videos with other people, and that's when things start to snowball. And so it really only comes down to two questions. Are you credible, and do you actually help people? Because when your content is good, people come back to you. I've had people email me out of nowhere asking, hey, do you have a product? Or, hey, can you do coaching? And that's because they like the free stuff that I was giving. And so if your content's good, people want your stuff, and they'll ask for it. So the fix here is pretty simple. You just stop performing for the algorithm and actually solve one specific problem and structure it in clear steps. Because if there's no structure, then people will get lost. It's like trying to build furniture with no instructions versus having IKEA just lay everything out step by step. And the good thing is, if you're actually an expert, then that means you do this thing every single day, and you already have everything you need for this. You've got the ideas already. You could talk about your area of expertise for hours. You've got frameworks that you use without even thinking about it. So anything you've done a bunch of times, you've probably built some kind of system for it because you've solved that same problem over and over again for yourself and for other people. And so you don't really need to make anything up here. You just take one real problem that your buyer has and you walk them through solving it end to end. And you use the exact same framework that you'd use yourself. You just teach it step by step, the same way you'd actually do it. Now you can pack a video with all that value, but there's one little thing, because if nobody actually sticks around long enough to get to it, then none of that matters. And that comes down to your intro. So pay the most attention here because your intro is pretty much 80% of your video's performance. Now a good intro only needs 3 things. It's who's it for, what's at stake, and then the result that they're going to get. And so I usually keep my intros under 150 words, sometimes even under 100 words now. And the best ones could even be a single sentence. Like just look at this video by Marcus Jones, and he opened the whole video with just one line. It was just this: here are 21 YouTube settings that F small channels, meaning you get no views. That's it. It was just one line, and this video got 5.1 million views. And so the shorter the intros, the better. As you can see, the 3 things that you need is all in this one line. Like who's it for? It's obvious this is for small channels. What's at stake would be there's 21 settings that could be destroying your channel. And then the result is getting views. Now he kind of implies it the opposite way, which is more the pain side of things, but getting no views. And so everything's clear here in this little intro. Now onto the second thing, and your value will give someone a reason to buy, but your call to action, which is the next one, actually tells them how to buy. And so the mistake I see constantly is this, because you can get 1 million views and make $0 if you never tell people what to do next. And a lot of the time there isn't even a link in the description. There's no pathway at all. Like some people would have an absolute banger of a video, and then they never once say, hey, there's a link down below. They don't even put a link. They don't even mention one. And then they wonder why nobody's buying. I actually had a client with 40 videos and not a single call to action on any of them. And in the rare instances where they do actually have a link, half the time it's just buried right at the bottom of the description where nobody scrolls. And so what you want to do instead is just put your link at the very top in the first 1 to 3 lines. That way it's the first thing your viewers see. So every video needs one clear action, and you want to put it early in the first 90 seconds if possible. I usually put mine after the first point because most people drop off quite early in the video. And so if you make them wait until the end, right, you might only have 23% of the people still watching, where early on you have 50% still watching. Just by doing that, you're doubling the amount of people that see your CTA. Now I got 2 more tips on how to get more leads from your YouTube channel. And I'll give you 2 actually. There'll be one beginner one and one advanced tip. So if you're just starting out, the main thing you can do is make the free offer something that people actually want to use. And so often people just make some throwaway PDF, but no one wants a PDF. Okay, no one's going to even sit there and read through this 3-page document. Instead, you want to give a genuinely useful tool, something that they could actually open up and use and get a result from instantly. And so the tool gets them onto your list. It gets them to actually trust you. If the tool that you give them is good, even better. That's why in my videos, I give away my free Claude skills, like the one I gave away earlier with the skill I used to make these visuals right here. It's something that people actually want and could use. I mean, it's things that I use myself. And so if I use it, I'm pretty sure other people might find it valuable. And so that's the beginner tip. But once you get a bit more comfortable, what you can do is actually start tracking which call to action actually converts. And so the way you do that is with a UTM link in your description. And so if you see this link right here as an example, you see how there's this weird code at the end? It's like UTM source, YouTube, UTM campaign, this video. And so if someone clicks this link and they sign up through it, it's going to tell me exactly which video they came from. And so I can actually open up my ConvertKit dashboard and I can look at each sign up and see which exact video they came from. And so I label each link by video, and then I see, okay, this type of video seems to get more signups. I'm going to make more of these. And so as you can see, these are things that don't require fancy editing. It's all in the content and how you set up the funnel for your YouTube channel. But before you go and just delete your editor's number, I just want to add a bit of nuance here, because I'm not saying that editing is useless. Like, editing still does matter. It's just not what makes the sale, but it can help your video spread and get more views. Because if you have good editing that holds attention, then it's going to get a higher watch percentage. YouTube is going to push your video more, and it's going to go to more of the right people as well. And so good content with good editing will always beat good content with no editing every single time. Okay, the better editing wins. And so if you're able to do more fancy editing, then go for it. The main point here is that you need to fix the foundation first. And so if you put fancy editing on top of a video that has no actual good content, then again, it's just like plating poop with gold. And another thing about editing is it's expensive, right? If you don't have a big budget and you don't have a team, then editing is going to eat a lot of your time. And if you do it yourself, it's this whole skill that you've got to master as well. You're going to have to learn about animations and all of that. And so if you don't want to do it yourself, then you're going to have to pay good editors, and that's going to be expensive. And even then, like, to figure out what makes a good edit, that takes skill too. And so we want to do editing, but you have to understand this, because if you get past a certain point, you start to hit diminishing returns. And so there's a point where like the fancy effects stop really doing anything. And so what you want is effective editing. You don't want fancy editing. And so if you look at Alex Hormozi, he usually just puts a simple graph on the screen. Actually, nowadays, he just has a piece of paper in front of him and he's writing on it and he has different camera angles. Like, he doesn't really have fancy animations anymore. Just having a plain graph does the same thing as some expensive animation, because the graph itself, that was the information. That was the valuable part. It wasn't the fancy motion graphics. So don't hear me the wrong way and just go completely the opposite direction and just do no production at all, because then you're just going to have a crap video. You want to be somewhere in the middle. Now quickly, before I show you how to actually run all of this, if you want to get clients from YouTube without this becoming another full-time job that you have to slave away at, if all you want to do is just film and have an AI system do the rest, then that's exactly what I help people with. I only work with a few people on this at a time, so there's an application in the description if you're interested. But back to the video, and here's how to actually run all of this without burning out. And I'll keep it to 4 quick rules. And so number 1, you want to pick a format that you can actually keep up with. So you've got 2 options. You can do the edited talking head videos, and this is what Alex Hormozi often does. Or you can do a simple screen and webcam, sort of like a Loom style, like Nick Sarayev does right here. This is what I'm doing right now. And both of these could work. You just want to pick the one that lets you post consistently. Now, number 2, and you want to post volume. You don't want to go for perfection, because you can't really predict which video is going to hit. And so posting a bunch of rough videos, I think that's the better strategy than trying to polish one video to death. Because actually there was this ceramics class where they split the students into 2 groups. And one group got graded on the quantity, and then the other one got graded on the quality. And the quantity group ended up making the best pots overall because they got way more reps. And it's the same thing with YouTube. The more you post, the more reps you get and the more data you get to learn from. And so I think that just having a simpler recording style makes this way easier. It allows you to get more videos out, you can test more, and you actually just start making better videos by posting consistently. Now, tip number 3 is just to improve one thing every single video, just one little thing. And so these little 1% gains, they're not going to feel like much, but they stack up over a year. Now, there's an exception though. If you post so frequently where you don't actually have time to improve on each video, then you're going to start just going through the motions and you're not actually going to improve. You want to have enough of a gap where you can post and get videos out, but still have a bit of time to like sit back and reflect and actually improve. Now into the last rule, rule number 4, and just keep your setup just super simple. Just get a good mic first, because audio is pretty much the main thing that matters with a video. And instead of doing fancy motion graphics, just do simple slides. So something like this that I'm doing, I just have simple slides, even a Loom style where you just freestyle and structure the video into an organized format. Like what I do now is I use bullet points on my phone, and I'm closer to the word for word end, but often there's bits that I read word for word. There's bits that I just kind of go off on tangents. And so again, it's a balance. Like some of you might prefer just riffing off the spot. Some of you prefer scripted word for word. Some of you would prefer something in the middle. And so just do what suits your style best. But honestly, you can nail the value and the call to action, and still this won't matter if nobody clicks your videos in the first place. And one of the biggest things that makes your actual content better is how you tell stories. And so give this video a watch next, where I break down how to tell stories so good that viewers turn into buyers. I'll put it up on the screen for you to watch next.